All right, everybody, we've got a 2004 Silverado in here with a homemade front bumper on it, and my concern is, of course, the lights. So it has some of these Sylvania kind of cheapo LED bulbs in it, and we're going to get rid of those and put in some of our Signature Series bulbs, and we're also going to go over how to install the double shot harness. So what we have is some of our 3157 amber bulbs and a pair of our double shot harnesses. And if you don't know, what these do is it converts the truck's lights from the factory. These do a daytime running light here and then a park and turn signal here. This harness converts it so that both lights do all the things. They're on as a running light, then they're also on as a parking light, and they also flash with the turn signal. So we're going to go over how to install these. They have some built-in resistors, so that's going to cure the hyperflash issue that this truck is having, and then we'll have kind of a fresh updated look on it. So if you're familiar with these trucks, then you know it's super easy to get at these lights. You pull the pin off, and the headlight literally just pops out. We'll set that guy out of the way. And then the lower one has the clip on the outer side, and then the whole thing just pops right out. Now, a buddy of mine just bought this truck, and it is just this side of 200,000 miles on it. And the truck's in great shape, but he wants to get rid of this bumper. So if you know anybody looking for a custom made steel bumper, this one's going to be available for sale soon. We're also going to get rid of these dime store bulbs here and put in some of our Sparksmith bulbs. Now these R3157s are of course available in white, amber, or switchback, and for this truck, just because it's mostly stock and he wants to keep it that way, we're going to go with the amber. First thing to do, once you have the bulbs out, I'm going to take a close look. So zoom in right here and just make sure that these contacts in here look pretty much like this, where they're silver and not rusted. And then you want to take the dielectric grease. If you've ever watched any of my videos, you'll hear me talk about this stuff all the time because it does make a difference. So the double shot harnesses will come with some dielectric grease. And it's these tubes, and you want to basically fill these cavities. I'm going to use our bulk stuff here, same thing though. And when I say fill the cavity, I mean actually fill the cavity. So you do that on that one, and then again on the daytime running light. And if you're not familiar with it, the daytime running light is the the daytime running light is the 2-wire inner socket, and unless it's been modified at some point, it's always a white socket. And the brown socket has 3 wires, and it's your park and turn signal socket. And then of course you have your side marker. And just for good measure, because I can, I'm gonna fill that guy with grease too, because it doesn't hurt. So next is how to install these. Installing the double shot harness. It's very simple, but it is specific. If you do it wrong, you're going to blow some fuses. You might think that the harness is bad. There's a couple of things that can happen there. So what I recommend is start with one side, get it all installed, test it, make sure everything's working, and then go to the other side and replicate the process there. The key here is to make sure, so you get a 2-wire for the daytime running light and a 3-wire for the park and turn signal. Both of them have a single black wire. That's your ground wire. And you want that has to line up with the black wire on the factory plugs. So for the park and turn signal, if it's like this one and a little dirty, you just have to clean it off, and you can see it's pretty obvious. One outer wire is blue and one outer wire is black. So you want this black wire of this 3-wire plug to be on the same side as the black wire of the factory plug. And when you slide it in there, you should feel it kind of click into place, and the shoulder of this new plug should be flush with the face of the socket. And then you do the same thing on the daytime running light. And just make sure the black wire lines up with the black wire. Feel it kind of click into place. Then you take whatever bulbs you're running. You can run factory incandescent bulbs. You can run LED bulbs. You can run pretty much whatever you want in these sockets as long as it's a 3157. Or if you've got some aftermarket headlights that have built-in LEDs or something like that, they'll plug right into that. So this resistor should not get hot because it only has power when the turn signal is actually on. And because it just cycles on and off, it'll get a little bit warm, but it's not going to get hot to the point that it's going to like melt the plastic. So you're perfectly good to, you can either use a self-drilling screw and attach this to the plastic frame that holds the lights. You can zip tie it to the wires or whatever you prefer to do, but do something so it's not just dangling around in there. So before I put all this back, I'm going to put this side marker bulb in before I forget. And then I'm going to test everything to make sure that it's working like it's supposed to. Okay, so the easy first thing to do is just take your headlight switch and turn it one position over. That's your park lamps. One more will obviously turn your headlights on, but we just need the park lamp on. And then we'll come up here and we see that all three bulbs are illuminated. And so then you can hit that four-way hazard switch and we see that everything's blinking like it's supposed to. So far we've got everything plugged in correctly. The next thing we'll need to do is test the daytime running light function and make sure that works. And for that, because we're inside, we're gonna need a flashlight. I could just pull it out into the sun, but if you're doing this at night or whatever, this is another way to do it. So first off, put your headlight switch in auto and make sure that there's some form of direct light on this thing right here is called a sun load sensor, and it's used for the climate control and it's also used for the headlights. So these trucks are designed to turn the daytime running lights on anytime the key is on and the truck is in any gear other than park. So you don't have to start it, you just have to turn the ignition switch on, hit the brake, and pull it down into neutral or reverse or whatever, and go take a look at the lights and you'll see. So you can see the ambient lights are off right now, but as soon as I put it into a gear besides park, they come on. So that's your daytime running light function. And then while we've got it, we can verify that it's not doing hyperflash with the key on. You hit that turn signal, and you can see it's flashing normally, whereas if you look at the other side that we haven't done yet, that's your hyperflash, and that's what we're trying to prevent. Okay. So we've tested everything on this side. Now I can just pop these back into place. If I can get the orientation right. It's so annoying that these are keyed so they can only go in one specific way. It just seems unnecessary to me, but what do I know? And grab some zip ties or a piece of string or duct tape or really whatever, it doesn't matter. But you want to do something to secure this resistor. Like I said, it's not going to get very hot, so you can just zip tie it to the wiring harness. And that will be just fine. Just enough so that it's not like dangling around, because we've had customers who just let it dangle and it got ripped off by some highway trash. So don't recommend that. Also, another pro tip, these factory sockets, if you turn them so that they're facing down, when you go to reinstall it, that will help prevent water from pooling up in there. Because water is the enemy of all this stuff. And you want to also not do what I just did and have the wires coming up over the grill, because now I've got to undo all that and put it into the lower section where it is, because right now I can't finish installing this because I wasn't paying attention. So that's undo that. Not that it's hard, but it's like, I've done this enough times that I shouldn't make silly mistakes like that, but hey, it's okay. There we go. There's one. There's another. Then your little side marker. This. So there's that side done. We'll pop the headlight back in, and then we'll just repeat the process on the other side, and then we're done. Okay, one last thing on this double shot. Again, just make sure that you're putting the black wire of the double shot, no matter which plug it is, make sure the black wire is matching up with the black wire on your factory sockets. If you have any troubles, you can always just email us, support@sparksmith.com. Thanks. Okay, so this side is the factory setup, where the outer one is the parking light and the inner one is the running light. Over here, we have our double shot installed. So you can see both of them do the parking light and the running light, and they both do the turn signal. Okay, so we got both sides with the double shot installed. You can see we've got park and turn signal, and of course the daytime running light function in both of the lower housings. And we have also fixed the hyperflash issue. So that's one little project down for this gem of a truck, and on to the next thing.